Hey guys, my name is Danielle and today we are going to do Super Bowl football friendly keto appetizers. I know the big game is like on its way and you guys are going to be having some parties and you guys are thinking, what can I make that my guests can eat but also I can enjoy, you know, guilt-free and be keto. So I got a few different things. So we're going to do some mini cheeseburgers with keto-friendly buns, and we're gonna make our own Big Mac sauce. So if you feel the need to top, you sure can. We're gonna do some traditional buffalo wings, but we got two different types of sauces, so you guys can pick which one you would like. We are going to do a spinach artichoke dip with homemade buns. We're gonna do it in the cast iron, so it's gonna be like a one-pan dish. Very good, and the presentation is going to be on point. We're gonna throw in some traditional jalapeno poppers because we all love jalapeno poppers. They're just really good. And then we're gonna make a dessert and we're gonna try our hand at a cookie cake. So we're gonna make some homemade Cool Whip with some sprinkles and do just a big pie dish of cookie. Kind of like the ones that they sell at the grocery store and they like put all the frosting on there for whatever holiday. That's what we're gonna do. So if you're here for it, we are going to start on our chicken wings first, and today we're actually going to be baking them because it is currently negative, I think they said negative 15 outside. Okay, so 450 preheat in the oven. So right here, if you guys have never bought your chicken wings from Aldi, you should, because they are so good and they're very affordable. They're only $2.29 a pound and they are like the best. This is probably the only place we ever buy them. So we got about a little bit, I think almost about 7 pounds of chicken wings. And we no longer have like a huge air fryer. I gotta get another one. So yeah, first things first is we're going to dry these chicken wings off, and we are going to season them with about 3 tablespoons of baking powder, because it's gonna help make them crispy, okay? Baking powder, not baking soda. Once again, baking powder, not baking soda. A good heaping dose of some fresh black pepper and garlic salt. So we're gonna toss it all in here and get this show on the road here. So we got the man of the hour in the kitchen with us today. So hashtag Leo in the kitchen. The man got his glasses on today because he got a little bit of a sty. So looking all sophisticated, like a whole snack. But yeah, so we're just going to dry off the chicken. It really makes a difference, guys, because it helps the seasoning stick. So go through, dry off your chicken, and then we will be back. All right, so we have the chicken wings dried off and we have them separated into 2 bowls. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take 2 tablespoons of baking powder, not baking soda. I have measuring spoons. It's a big one right here. Yeah. So we're gonna do 2 of those and sprinkle them all over. And the baking powder has 0 carbs and it's gonna help get that crispy skin that we're gonna want on the chicken wings. This is kind of, think along the lines if you were using a flour, but this is, you know, a little better. You don't have to put the extra carbs. So, cause that baking powder, baking powder is gonna dry the chicken out, the skin out. So that's why we're using it. It's okay, I'll clean it up. And next up is going to be a good serving of garlic salt, right here. Just give it a nice coating. I like to go a little bit heavier with it, with all my seasonings for chicken, especially because I'm baking, because it's, I don't know, I just feel like it really gets in there a lot better. And then we'll follow it up with some fresh cracked pepper, okay? So make sure, like he's doing, you're kind of tossing the chicken wings around, making sure they're getting real coated, okay? So you want each one to have a nice seasoning to them and a nice coating. All right, so I just have a cooling rack and we're just lining up the chicken wings on here so they can bake. And then I lined the bottom of it with parchment paper. So yeah, we're lining the parchment paper. We lined it with parchment paper just to catch some of the drippings for easier cleanup. So we're gonna do probably two racks because we got more chicken wings than we need. This rack's too small, so. But yeah, there you go. Okay, so here are our wings. I have them on 2 separate pans. So the oven is preheated to 450, and I am going to put them in the oven for about 40 minutes. And then make sure you temp them, and then we'll pull them out, and then we'll go ahead and create our sauce. But yeah, so this is a little way to get yourself some crispy wings, but inside the house. So meal, appetizer number 1, chicken wings. 40 minutes and I'll see you back here. Okay, so they are out of the oven. This is the one batch here. There you go. And we are going to temp them. So we want them to be about 180 degrees to make sure, you know, we don't get the bubble guts. About at 180, no? Almost on the head?
Yeah, they're good.
All right.
They don't have to be exactly 180.
All right, so
put sauce on them and then.
Yeah, we're gonna, so next up is we're gonna make our sauce. So I'm gonna give you 2 choices. So Leo got this one, he really likes this. This is the Hooters wing sauce. I wish this would. So this is the Hooters wing sauce. He loves this one. Let me show you the macros here. I'm gonna spin this bad boy around. But it's 1 carb per 2 tablespoons. Let's see, it does have that maltodextrin in it. I don't use this one just because, you know, it's just not my thing. But if you wanted that authentic Hooters taste, you can do that. Or we're gonna mix a little bit of butter and some Louisiana, like Frank's Red Hot, and we're gonna do some buffalo wings that way. So let's get these ones out of the oven and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take the Kerrygold butter. I'm gonna take probably about 2 tablespoons and I'm gonna melt that down in the microwave, and then I'm gonna mix a couple tablespoons of this Frank's Red Hot. This is my favorite buffalo sauce. And mix it together, and then I'm going to toss the wings in this. And that'll make it, you know, there's no carbs in here at all. So there's 0 carbs in the Frank Red Hot. And then you're gonna have the an extra fat from the Kerry's, and it's gonna be really, really good. And it's gonna be nice and crispy, and these are gonna be the best wings you ever had. Leo is gonna do some of them with the Hooters sauce too. So best of both worlds. And we're gonna do a side of just leaving them plain with barbecue for my kids because they don't like spicy sauces. All right, so just taking a couple at a time, just tossing some of this in here. Let me add some more.
No, it's a lot. Or you want more?
All right, so here are our buffalo wings, and you can see they're nice and steaming hot. See the smoke coming off of them? Look, and there you go. So we're gonna finish up. We're gonna coat up some of these. So we're gonna do just the Franks, and then we're gonna do some Hooters, and then we're gonna do some barbecue, and we're gonna put them all out for our guests. And there you go, appetizer numero 1. All right, my friends, so right here is the Hooters wings, and those are the Frank's Red Hot, and then we have a little bowl for dipping of ranch. Both are so good. This baking soda, or baking powder trick, baking powder, not soda, was bomb. Like, this skin is so crispy and it's very flavorful. Definitely drying your chicken will help maintain the flavor as well. And the seasoning was perfect. I mean, everything was pure perfection. I mean, we can get up close and you guys can totally see how crispy that chicken is. It's super crispy, very good. And I would recommend to all of you. So this would be a perfect snack. All right, so next up is going to be our mini burgers, right? So we are using this 100% natural, grass-fed Angus ground beef, you know, 85% lean, blah, 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 blah. This is very, very good, very tasty. We're just gonna season the ground beef a little salt and pepper because this stuff is so good. It has such a good flavor to it, you don't need much, okay? So yeah, we're gonna put that all in. I'm just gonna reach over you here. We are going to be using our Sola bread, our Sola buns. These are the best out there as far as like bread substitute. Leo loves these. Yeah, so the kids love them. They're very, very good. What did you say, Lee? They actually taste like what?
They actually taste like bread.
So
there's a lot of shit out there that doesn't, oh, it's a tortilla substitute. Oh, it's a bread substitute. It's a substitute, or what pisses me off is when they say it tastes just as good as bread, or it's just as good as a tortilla, or just as good as a cookie. No, it's not just as good. It doesn't taste as good. It's a substitute, but it's not as good.
He got this, and he loves this American sliced cheese, like this like booty one. It has carbs in it. It has 2 carbs per slice, but he loves it. He thinks it tastes the best on burgers. But I have a brick of extra sharp cheese. And yeah, so we're gonna just do that. We're gonna fry them up in the frying pan. Leo usually, if you're cooking in the house, he like mummifies my stove when he cooks, like he fries stuff, just because it gets so dirty. So I suggest you guys doing that. He's gonna be so great, and he's gonna weigh out each patty. And we are going to make a homemade Big Mac sauce as well. So we also do have regular hamburger buns for, I think my sister might come by, and the kids, because I mean, they love the Sola breads, but them are expensive, okay? But yeah, so mini burgers are coming up. All right, so for the Big Mac sauce, I have, these are just some hamburger dill pickles that I cut up in here. I will leave the exact recipe down below, but we're gonna use some mayonnaise. You guys can use like the fancy organic one if you choose, but this is, I might try the organic one the next route, but this is the one we got on hand. We're gonna use some mustard, some smoked paprika, a little bit of white vinegar, and one of these little sugar packets. So yeah, super simple. You probably have most of these ingredients around the house. It does call for smoked paprika. If you guys need smoked paprika. If you go to the store, put it on your list. This is a game changer for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna combine all the ingredients, and then we'll mix it up and throw it in the fridge. And yeah, that's it. It's gonna be our homemade keto Big Mac sauce. All right, here is our homemade Big Mac sauce that will go into the fridge for when it's time to eat. All right, so right here we have the 4-ounce patties, and we're just going to fry them in the cast iron, and then this is kind of how Leo does it with the foil, and then we save it, and then we use it again when we cook. It's a thing we do, okay? We have a small kitchen, and the grease gets everywhere. Bless you. Yeah, so we're gonna season this with just some salt and pepper, 4-ounce patties, and then we will cut them in to 4s, or you could even do like half burgers if you wanted. I think we might do half. And then, yeah, we're gonna make it look a little fancy. I don't know, we'll see how we do it. But Leo is cooking it in his cast iron. All right, so here are our half of burgers. So you can serve them as whole or half, whatever you guys like. But we have, these are on the Sola breads. So I figured just because they're appetizers that you can go half. So just went ahead and don't forget we have our homemade Big Mac sauce. So we're just gonna go ahead and put a dollop of that on top of our patty. And that's what our guests are gonna have. They're gonna have homemade Big Macs. So on top of there, you just top it with your bread. All right, so next up is the jalapeno poppers. I know you guys have seen these countless amounts of times, so we're gonna do this really simply. Leo's just going to cut off the stem, and he's gonna take out the seeds on the inside, and she's kind of, this is his little technique. And he just, the main stem is where you get the heat from and the seeds, so we try to get as much as them out, but you know, there's no telling which one's gonna be hot and which one won't. You just go ahead and you're gonna fill them up with a little bit of cream cheese and wrap them in bacon. And that is really the extent of the jalapeno popper. It's nothing really crazy. You can get fancy with it, but this is how we're doing it. We throw it into the oven at 380 degrees for about 20 minutes. And that's it. Delicious, easy, super keto, and people love them. And they're pretty cheap to do, you know? So, Leo's wearing gloves though, just because you never know, and you can burn, he's, like I told you, he wears contacts and stuff, and you don't want to touch your eye or anything like that after touching a hot jalapeno. So, when these are done, I'll show you guys, but super simple, very much a classic. He's also drinking a Corona Premier that is 2 carbs per beer, and he says they're okay, not too bad. They're kind of watered down, but for the carb count, not too bad. And then we have our jalapeno poppers that are all done as well, so you can go ahead and throw those on there. And so good, and you could always have leftovers. This would be great for meal prep too, and delicious. So let's get dessert ready. Next thing we're going to start is our rolls for our spinach artichoke dip, okay? The dough is gonna have to actually sit and cool in the fridge for a little bit, so we're gonna have, we're gonna make that first. So first thing we're gonna add is some shredded mozzarella. We're gonna take 2 1/4 cup of that. So basically it's going to be a version of fathead dough. So if you guys have ever seen me make a fathead dough, it's very similar. Next up is going to be 6 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese. And then I'm gonna toss this in the microwave for about a minute until the dough melts. You could do this stovetop, but I prefer in the microwave. So there you go. We're gonna toss that in and then we'll be back. All right, so here is just the melted mozzarella cheese with the softened cream cheese. And I like to just kind of go in there and smash it all together. I'm going to add my almond flour. I believe it's 1.5 cups, yeah. So I just use the Kirkland almond flour. We are going to add in some baking powder, 2 1/4 tablespoon. This is gonna make it sure that it rises. And then we're gonna add in 3 eggs. All right, so I'm gonna mix this up by hand. I'm just gonna put on some gloves because I do have, you know, the acrylic nails. So this will just make it kind of easier. I'm just gonna, because we're gonna actually want to form this into a ball of dough for the rolls. All right, so with this dough, we're gonna make sure we're gonna let it sit in the fridge for about a half an hour so it can thicken and it can form, and then we will roll it out into our rolls. So, okay, so next up is our spinach artichoke dip. I know you guys can't see me, but I'm here. I just probably got some stains. Okay, but anyways, we are going to take, these are the grilled, I think, what are they called? Marinated grill artichoke hearts. This is very much influenced by that artichoke dip I like from Costco, but it has like a million things in it. I got this from the Trader Joe's, and I'm going to drain these, and then we're gonna chop them and toss them in this here bowl. All right, so these are kind of like oily. I've never actually cooked with these before. Yeah, so I'm going to like rough chop these, and then I will be back. So we have our artichoke hearts right here. This is 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. We're gonna toss that in there. We're gonna take some mozzarella cheese, 1/2 cup, and we're going to place that in here. We're gonna take some fresh grated Parmesan. We're gonna take about 1/4 cup of that. I'm just kind of eyeballing it from here. We're gonna take some Daisy sour cream, 1/4 cup. Next, we're gonna take some minced onion. This is just dry. You could do fresh minced onion, but I don't have any. So we're gonna do 1/4. We're going to do 2 fresh cloves of garlic, and I'm just gonna throw them in with my little thing here, my garlic press. We're gonna do some salt and pepper. And then the last thing we're going to add is going to be some fresh spinach. I'm gonna add about 1.5 cups, but I'm going to chop this up. So let me add everything together and I'll be back. All right, so now we have the spinach, we have all the seasonings, the artichokes, the cheeses. We're gonna mix everything together. And then we'll be able to, I'm gonna throw this in the fridge and let it sit probably while we make our dinner rolls, or like our rolls to go with this. We do have the oven preheating. I'll toss that back in there. We do have the oven preheating at 400 degrees. And this will go in a cast iron, but if you don't have a cast iron, I'm sure you can do like a casserole dish or something like that. Okay, so look at how much our dough has risen. We're going to use these and we're going to make 12 balls of dough, and we're going to line, wow, this dough is really nice. You guys see that? This is like a really nice texture. Wow, okay. I'm gonna wet my hands. When working with fathead dough, damp hands is like the best way to do it because it's super tacky. So, and I just have them laid out right here on some parchment paper. All right, so here is our 12 balls of dough. You could let these set for a little bit longer if you wanted it in the fridge. I'm just gonna go ahead and put them into my cast iron to let them sit for a little bit longer in the fridge the first time. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so we're gonna line our cast iron and then we're gonna put the dip in the middle. So let's do that and then I'll be back to show you. Ooh, that looks so good. All right, I am so excited for this. So this is gonna cook for about 20-25 minutes or so until everything's brown and, you know, risen and nice and crispy. But this looks delicious. I'm so excited for it. All right, okay, sorry, into the oven at 400. I forgot, I don't know if I told you, but yeah, 400 degrees for about 20-25 minutes. All right, my friends, here is our, I don't know how to say it, like baked artichoke spinach dip, I guess. So these are the rolls. We're gonna let it cool for a minute. You don't wanna like dive in right away, but everything, I liked how it came out nice and crispy. And then you would just serve it like on, what do they call it, like a trivet? Like you can put the pan on it. So it doesn't, like one of those things, you know, so you don't pan, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, and then you just would pull off the bread and then just stick it in, you know, whatever. So I'm really excited. We'll let this cool off and then we'll dive in, but it came out gorgeous. I hope it tastes good. We'll try it. All right, so what I did is I just cut off a chunk of the bread and I scooped up some of the dip with it. You can see it's, look at how fluffy that bread is and all the, wow, this is, I really like this dough consistency. This is really, really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. Rhea, do you wanna try it? No? All right, let's try it. Ooh, the bread's real cheesy too. I'm just gonna grab a little spoon. All right, so you can tell it's real cheesy. It's so good. The artichokes are like really, really good. It tastes better than, it tastes like the one from Costco, but better. We should have put, if we would have put jalapenos in it, would it taste just like the jalapeno one. This is really good. Makes you dance. Bands to make her dance. All right, really good, highly approved. On to the next one. All right, my friends, we're working on to the dessert option. So I have a little like pie dish, I guess. I don't know what size it is. It's just a normal pie dish. We are going to be using my favorite. These are the Chalk Zero chocolate chips. These are the dark chocolate. I have a bag of dark chocolate and I have a little bit left of white chocolate, so I'm gonna mix them up. Love these. I do have a discount code for Chalk Zero. I recommend everything. These never mess up your stomach and I love them. I love them so much. So yeah, check them out if you want to get some. But we're going to make a like cookie cake, you know? So I'm actually using the recipe beyond here. It's Keto in the City's chocolate chip cookies. So it comes on the back and I tried it during Christmas and I loved it. So we're gonna need a half a cup of Chalk Zero chocolate chips, 2.5 cups of almond flour, 2 eggs, a half a cup of unsalted butter, that's 8 tablespoons, half a cup of sugar substitute. We're using the Sola brand. I actually really like them for baking because I feel like sometimes Swerve can be overly sweet for these chocolate chip cookies, and this one's just right. A teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So really simple. I love Keto in the City. I've been following her for years and she came out with her own cookbook, which I think is really dope. But yeah, so these are a total for, let's see, 60 pieces is 1 carb. And it is sweetened with, I can tell you right now, monk fruit. So you don't have to worry about like the GI upset that I usually get a lot of that from these like chocolates. So yeah, I'm gonna make these cookies and I'll show you how I kind of put it down. I will link this recipe down below so you guys can check it out. All right, so here is our cookie cake. I just put it in this pie shell. I'm hoping this comes out okay. This is kind of something I made up because I was at the grocery store and I always see them when they have these big old cookie sheet cakes, you know, and they like decorate them for like everything. But this is a mixture of white chocolate, milk chocolate, and dark chocolate. Just because I had like little bags left of each, so I wanted to finish them off. Yeah, so I'm gonna throw this in the oven at 350 for probably, you know, 15 minutes, maybe even 20, just because it is like pretty deep. So we'll just keep an eye on it, but I'm really excited. So I was gonna make some homemade Cool Whip to go with it, so we'll see how that rolls. And for the grand finale, we have our cookie cake. So I would have gotten like a bigger pan for this cookie cake just because I had to cook it for a little bit longer. So you did notice it gets a little crusty around here, like a brown crust, not crusty, but still very, very good. So we have that. And then to top it off, you know, I'm extra, homemade Keto Cool Whip. So there you go. Just dollop that on top of your cookie. And that is your dessert. So perfect. I'm gonna dig in right now because you know Look at that, so good. Delicious, perfect. All right, friends, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start cleaning up my kitchen and wrap this video up, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will link as many recipes down below that I can find. And yeah, so different things, very tasty, pretty easy, very guest friendly, very keto friendly, and you won't miss out on anything. So you don't necessarily only have to have these on Super Bowl. You could have these any day of the week. These would be great for just you and the fam, whatever you want to do. But yeah, so if you guys are new here, hey, what's up? My name is Danielle, and we do this keto thing quite a few times a week, and I would love for you guys to stick around and subscribe. But all right, guys, I will see y'all on the next one. Take it easy, friends.